Hi, and welcome to my very awkward intro. My name is Susan/Bambi, and this is Bambi's Rambles. How are we, guys? Are we good? That's good. And if you're not good, remember that's okay too. So, today's video is a bit odd, a bit, CREEPSHOW Art can call me Amy at this point because I feel like a bit of a stalker because the amount of content I've watched of hers. And I kind of like... I'm at this kind of like crossroads with like myself and my content where I kind of want, a lot of people are really to the point where they're questioning like fake justice warriors and a lot of different things like that, and little things like, oh, how do we not see this coming? How do we know who's fake, who's not? And there's also this other thing that people are kind of feeling and thinking is, what is the right answer when it comes to what we can fight for, what we can't fight for, and what people can and can't say? And I don't know the answers. The only sort of, as you guys can tell, I am not a person of color. The only racism that I have really dealt with has been alongside me. My mom, I grew up in an Italian household. My parents are immigrants. My mother experienced a lot of racism coming to Australia, being an Italian, and she went through some stuff, right? And that's as much as I know about like how it has affected like me personally until I met my husband. So my husband is Hispanic, he's Latin American, and obviously in that my children are biracial. So I'm the type of person where I don't know all the answers. I'm not necessarily a social justice warrior. I want to be an ally, but I also know that I'm not necessarily well educated on a lot of things. I am educated in regards to what my husband goes through, what he talks to me about. I've learned a lot from social media. I've learned a lot from, movements and things like that. But it's sort of, I'm the type of person that wants to ask a lot of questions. Like, I'm just like that. And I kind of want to use, not Shannon as an example, but kind of like, what's the word the thing I'm trying to say? It's like, I don't want to use her as an example, but I kind of want to put her content up and kind of get the thoughts and feelings from, people of color, the trans community, the queer community, and like learn more. So I feel like that's kind of a discussion I kind of want to have, if that makes any sense. And I like to ask questions. I want to have a discussion. I feel like I can kind of tell when someone's really fake and kind of reaching. They're fake vigilante bullshit where they don't keep the same energy with a lot of things. I know a lot of people are fans of people that I kind of feel this way about, which was, again, Shannon. And there are a few other content creators that I kind of have, mixed feelings and opinions on, but I kind of feel like at the same time it's kind of not my place. I kind of like want to put this content out there for people to have a discussion and come talk in my comment section and let me know what the wrong and right thing to do is, who people perceive as fake and reaching, and so on and so forth. So that was a really, really long-winded intro because this is Bambi's Rambles. I don't fucking know, I just ramble. People out there like who I perceive like Repzilla and Pastel Bell and Shannon and a few others where I feel like their content rubs me the wrong way. And I kind of feel like if I can go through Shannon's content at this point and just go off bits and pieces that I put together from watching really old content of hers, and then some of the like views that she magically had out of nowhere, people that these sort of things affect can come and talk to me about it and how I can be an ally, whether she is not wrong or right, but just people's fucking opinions. I get to the point, which was some of Shannon's old content. Now we're mostly going to talk about two videos here. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theory person. I'm a bit of a, what's it called? Like a a fucking true crime person. I just want to know the ins and outs and the background, if that makes any sense. So anyway, shut the fuck up, getting to the point. Now, I'm going to talk about two videos. First video that we're going to talk about, right, was listed on May 12th, 2018. Now, it's called Tumblr Hates Artists. In this video, I'm just going to make a couple of points about what she spoke about, right? In this, she was talking about how she has an art blog on Tumblr, and there were a few different moments before the moment where she was kind of speaking negatively and kind of mocking social justice warriors, implying that they come in herds. They are a bunch of snowflakes. They are also, come in herds and are overly sensitive pussy ass geese. Okay, now that was the basic opening, so to speak, of this video. Now with that, I get the feeling that she is not understanding of social justice, not appreciative of social justice, you know, which is what we're going through right now, which was a very negative connotation to some of these people, you know, but as we go further, don't we see that her content, I won't go too much into this because we'll get back into this in a minute, but isn't majority of her content going after, you know, minority groups that are targeted, and, you know, being a social justice warrior for that, and that's what she's like paid her bills for the past 2 years, by using that sort of thing as her pushing point of her content. Does that make any sense? Her art blog, she posted a sketch that she had done of herself kissing, that she drew of her kissing another female, right? But to her, she said, I didn't put a backstory as to why people need to know, assume my sexuality, my gender, my race, my anything. Like, I didn't put anything up there. I didn't think it was needed or normal or, you know, anything like that. I just posted my art. And she went on to say that a person, she actually used the word bitch, who is a social justice warrior, told her that she was queer baiting. Now, Shannon didn't really get too overly aggressive about that point in her video, but she did go on to say that, you know, she was upset that people were coming for her when they were talking about how the way she drew the body shape was body shaming, the way she drew, you know, had artistic inspiration from certain mental health things, stuff like that. People were coming for her for that. And she was like, well, you know, maybe this is like social justice warriors coming in herds, coming after me, so on and so forth. Now, okay, she was a bit frustrated at this. She was like, well, I'm being attacked, but they don't know who I am, so they shouldn't attack me on this, right? I think that's fair. I think the mocking and stuff of social justice warriors or whatever, and like that sort of thing, was a bit uncalled for, but we know that Shannon does things that are a bit uncalled for. But again, I kind of understand where she's coming from, right? Basically, fuck these guys, you all suck. I want to sit there and tell you all, you know, my story, my life, my gender, my sexuality, my everything, but didn't feel that she had to, wanted to, but didn't feel she had to, so she stood her ground, said, I'm not telling you nothing, you know, so on and so forth, right? Which is okay. I have notes on my computer, by the way, so I'm not trying to like not give you eye contact, but like I cannot multitask. Anyway, she moved on to something that she was a bit more bothered by, right? Which was the social justice warriors coming all over the image that she drew of her best friend, Natalie, who was a person of color. She was really proud of that artwork. She perceived that her best friend was really proud of it, and she wanted to share it. Now, when these social justice warriors came and found her page, came and found that image, she was really upset about it. Upset at how they treated her, and perceived that they were saying that she was a racist, and she was all these sorts of things by drawing, sketching someone, a person of color, when she's not a person of color, right? And to her, she perceived that as a last straw. Now, she went on to talk about how she was very upset with the hate that she got, right? She also said that she tried to reason with them, but you cannot reason with social justice warrior pieces of shit. She said that she went on to list her sexuality, her gender, her ethnicity, her mental health conditions, and she went on to talk about how things that she had been through in her life, her past traumas, so on and so forth. I think in her, what she says in this, I kind of think a little differently, but I'll come back on that, is to explain her side, I guess, as to why it was okay, what the reasons were behind it, and so on and so forth. Now, she said that after she had listed all these sorts of things, these people went on to use that against her, and hurt her in the worst way possible because they knew so much about her. Now, after all this had happened, she was like, I'm closing the blog, Tumblr's toxic, it's all these sorts of things, right? She actually went to the end of the video saying, she talks about how they trade victim points, and you are only as popular as sad and pathetic as you are on Tumblr, right? And she said, if you don't give in to that mentality or be like that, you are berated until you leave the platform. Now, first of all, let me say one thing. Shannon trades victim points every minute of the day. Like, she has a Nintendo 64 filled with victim points, my friend. And that's another video I will talk about. It's almost like, why are you saying that, Shannon? Because you do that. You do that. And this is a point where I again, am I reaching? It's almost like she was so fucking offended by social justice warriors, right? But I think in her cunning little mind, cunning, I didn't say the other word, but cunning little mind, it's almost like that sort of thing, like if you can't beat them, join them. Because she does have the idea of trading victim points. She said if you don't have that mentality or live by that, you will be removed. Not removed, but you will remove yourself from the platform because you will be berated by all of these people, right? So now we're going to talk about a video that she posted. I only think it was, because that's the thing, I could not find the exact date on this one. I don't know if that was my computer. Maybe I'll have to add it in here. I just couldn't see it, right? And you know what? I bit all my nails off just by watching Shannon's content. So if I miss bits and pieces, I apologize, but I've given myself a migraine at this point. Now, she talks about a video that it's actually got 2 million views. So it's a very, very, very popular video. Now, maybe people who have been past subscribers, fans, so on and so forth have seen this video. Now, this video was called The Worst Tumblr Artist Ever. Again, with this complete lack of self-awareness where you're getting upset that Tumblr is attacking you for your art, right? But you go on to attack people about their art. Tell me if I'm wrong, friends, because I'm just like, oh, the hypocrisy, mate. It's almost like it's almost like when someone bullies you, you go on to be the bully. It's that sort of thing. It's sort of like instead of being better, you be bitter. That's just how I feel about Shannon. But anyway, now in this video, she talks about herself as a victim, which she didn't want to trade victim points, but she's all about victim points at this point. Now, she starts talking about how about the victim she was and complaining that she took herself off Tumblr because she could not entertain the victim mentality that had overrun Tumblr. Okay. Talking about how she was called racist for her art, all these other things that have happened to her, which I expressed in that past video. Now, again, this is something where, again, I want everyone's opinion. I am not the gatekeeper of fucking YouTube. I am out here trying to cancel people. I'm out here trying to educate myself and understand what is the wrong and right thing to say and to do with certain situations and certain whatever. The only thing that I have any sort of education and advocacy for is mental health. And again, that'd be another video more about Susan, and that's it. You know what I mean? Third person, how embarrassing, friends. Anyway, now she starts talking about an artist that got a lot of attention in 2015 when they started drawing a trans Captain America, right? Which in her own words didn't bother her. So if it was just that so just that there didn't bother Shannon. Now, the things that went on to bother Shannon about it were as follows. So apparently she was upset by the fact that this trans Captain America is drawn in pin-up style poses, sexy clothes, large chest, muscly, boobs pushed together, very, kind of like fetishizing, I can't say that word, the trans community, right? I am not a member of the trans community. My sister's now ex-wife is a part of the trans community. They married until they transitioned and they got a divorce. Not my story to tell, but that's the only part of me that has any connection to the trans community personally in my own life. So I do not have the right or wrong answer for this. So tell me your thoughts. She said that some of these pieces were titled "Slut" and were talked about. The body shape was unrealistic and that the character had a belly filled with jizz. So it's very sexual, very, I don't know. For me personally, I don't throw my hands in the air and get overly offended. But again, it's not my place, right? It's not my place. I want to be an ally and understand, but that there, for me, that's just my point of view without any education on it, right? It made me, I wasn't offended, but it was uncomfortable to look at, right? Like it wasn't, I could understand they were very talented with drawing. I can barely draw a dick on one of my school books, but I can see it's uncomfortable, but I could see talent. Does that make any sense? Now, apparently the trans community did speak on this to the artist and say that this is wrong, we're not happy about this, we're offended, please don't, so on and so forth. This artist apparently went on to be like, well, fuck y'all, I don't give a shit, bunch of idiots, you're transphobes, not me, I go to art school. This is Shannon's words, not mine. Art school, and I'm not offended, so whatever, right? Now, and she said this person viewed it as another sign that this artist was profiting off the backs of the trans community, okay? Now, okay, tell me your opinions. I, again, don't have one, don't know what the right answer is, whatever. Now she goes on to another point about this artist who drew a black, so they did a different sort of art, different sort of drawing, which is more like caricatures, like you know what I mean, like comic-y looking stuff, cartoony stuff, and they did it on a few different black actors, actresses, and Shannon perceived that this was racist, like overly racist, by doing big noses or big lips or big eyebrows, and just very racist in her opinion. And that they were capable of these types of drawings, but decided to do this type of drawing. Now, with these drawings here, they're very, very, very different, my love. But I think they're meant to be very, very different, because aren't they different styles? Now, my art, my form of artistic anything is my thumbnails, my editing, my videos. Like, that to me is very, very exciting for me. I love to do thumbnails. I want to do it for other people. Like, I enjoy it, right? But to draw and things like that, told ya, can't even draw dicks on a fucking notebook, you know what I mean? But anyway, now she goes on to talk about, the artist also doing an image on a on I think it's Leslie Jones. Please forgive me if I got that wrong, but Leslie Jones, who was the actress in the Ghostbusters remake, right? And the image, I'll probably post it here so you can all see it, but the image was, in her mind, offensive, mocking, and was somehow, you know, to cause malice, disrespect towards this actress. Now, again, not a person of color, don't know the backstory of whether this is true or not true, or how people should feel about it. You tell me your opinions, right? I'm just gonna go off what I feel, and if I'm wrong, I'll wear the egg on my face. Do you know what I mean? That's fine with me. Now, I'm just gonna tell you my thoughts and feelings on this and like what I think. Now, has anyone heard, I don't know if it's a saying or not, but has anyone ever heard that thing where, you know, people will say, oh, you shouldn't, you know, your 10-year-old, right? Your 10-year-old shouldn't kiss their, you know, their father on the lips or something like that. And people would say, oh, well, if you see that in a disgusting way, that says more about where your mind is as opposed to where these people's minds are. Offensive. Now, I could be completely reaching for the stars, so on and so forth. But if you perceive someone in drawing big lips on an African American woman who does have big lips is racist or offensive or mocking, does that not say a lot about how you feel about that imagery of that person? Like, do you find big lips and big noses offensive? Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? Like, let me know, because that kind of like said a lot to me without saying a lot to me. Like, that was like, you feel like that's disgusting and offensive? What? I feel like those things are beautiful, and very, can I say common, with people of color. Very, you know, beautiful, like accentuated features about them, you know, like, I don't know. I was just like, and it's almost like when it comes to like Jane Doe images. So you know how they know something is like, they accentuate something about someone's face, so it's more recognizable and rememberable to someone when they're trying to find out who this John or Jane Doe is. I feel like in accentuating those, like showing them more, is to really put in the forefront of your mind that this is beautiful about them. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I could be completely wrong, reaching, you know, egg on me face, whatever else. But do you not feel that in some sort of way? I feel like, Shannon, you kind of showed yourself you're a little bit uncomfortable and racist. Kind of pandering slightly to, when you were getting hate for it, you weren't apologetic or understanding or whatever else about that. You were more, fuck you, fuck social justice warriors, you're all this snowflake sensitive, yada, yada, yada. But once it was something where you knew was very trendy on YouTube and would make you money, you fed on the soul and the hearts and the morality of other people to line your pockets. The way you spoke about Anthony Mackie in that video, like, if he could punch me in the face and I'd be all for it, he's so hot. Like, if a man was saying that about a woman, I can almost guarantee you they would be the next thumbnail. Worst YouTuber ever. Like, on your channel. Like, and to say you would let him punch you in the face because he's hot. I understand that's probably hyperbole, there's probably a bit of satire. Like, I understand those sorts of jokes. I'm not moronic. Like, I know that those jokes exist and I have made some myself, you know, and I'm not a snowflake, and, you know, but it's just like the mixed messages that you give in your videos, that show that you don't actually have any solid moral code or compass for the things that you are talking about. Does anyone else get that? Or is it just me? Because if it's just me, tell me. I want to know. Like, if I'm crazy and need to up my therapist a couple more times a month, I'm happy to do so. But you know what I mean? Like, see, that's a joke there where it's like, it's inappropriate to a degree. But when we're talking about you would let a good-looking man punch you in the face, like, that's just uncomfortable, Shannon. And I feel like you go off that one video that had, 30,000 views, and you go off this other video that has 2 million views. Then you go off, I can do this with a whole bunch of your videos, Shannon, because one and the other, the fucking comparison, man, like, it's bananas. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's almost like she was a fake social justice warrior to line her pockets. And it's shitty because it doesn't help the movement of what people are trying to create, which I've spoken about with Pastel Bell, I've spoken about with Repzilla, I've spoken about it with a few other people, and I'll probably continue speaking on it because I'm just like, fuck, you're a bunch of bananas. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So that's just a real part one of like where I'm coming from with Shannon. And the more you dig deep into her content, the more you can kind of see things. And maybe it's, maybe I need a life, probably. But I am enjoying this. I'm finding it fascinating. And if no one watches it, that's okay. Like, I'm enjoying it. But I want people to let me know what they think about, this, my questions, my thoughts on this. Like, because I not that I want to know the right answer, but I do want to know the right answer, if that makes any sense. How can we, if the biggest allies that people have on YouTube is Shannon from CREEPSHOW Art, I think it's pretty good for me to dissect her a little bit and see what the real voices of these communities actually think and feel about these things, so that we can actually be proper advocates and all that sorts of stuff. Does that make any sense? Anyway, so I just want to say thank you for watching, and I do plan on making more videos like this. I'll be going backwards and moving forward with a few different things in regards to CREEPSHOW Art, and a lot of little things that I've seen and like throughout her content, and about things that have come out, and it's all just piecing together, and I'm loving it. I'm loving putting this shit together, so it's been really, really fun for me. And I just feel like, yeah, I just want to know everyone's thoughts, feelings, opinions, so on and so forth, because again, not the gatekeeper of YouTube, a genuine human being that has a lot of questions, and I'd like you guys to answer them. And I'm just using Shannon as my sculpture, as my, those frogs when you're in science and stuff, like, she's just my, that for this. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. And remember to like, subscribe, send a pigeon, take your meds. Click the bell. Check the washing machine, guys, because you know what, right? Check that washing machine, because I can almost guarantee you someone out there has washed their uniform for work tomorrow and has forgot all about it. And you're going to get up in the morning and pray to the gods above that you can dry your uniform in the next 25 minutes. You know what I mean? So remember that. Now, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to shut the fuck up now because I've just rambled on way too much. I love you all so much. Have a beautiful day. Bye.